The climate change is impacting the world in ways that we cannot even imagine, from permanently altering behavior patterns to mass extinctions fueled by habitat loss. The problems are very severe. And now a recent study has found that plants that rely on animals to disperse seeds are in fact struggling to keep pace with climate change. We'll leave you with this report. Thanks for watching.
Nature is the perfect example of codependence. All species, plants and animals depend on each other. Animals derive fodder from plants, while numerous plant species depend on animals for reproduction. Birds and animals, whether big or small, play a great part in dispersing plant seeds, thereby playing a huge role in helping flora reproduce and keeping the ecological cycle running. Now imagine, what will happen if we remove animals from the equation?
When we lose that biodiversity, of course we're losing the animals, but we're also losing what those animals are doing within their ecosystems. And for animals like birds and mammals, a big part of their ecosystem role is as seed dispersers. So when we lose those seed dispersers, we lose these mutualistic relationships between plants and animals that support how these ecosystems are functioning. And in particular, in this context of climate change, that ability for plants to move enables their resilience to climate change. About half of all plant species rely on animals to disperse their seeds. So you might think of an acorn being dispersed by a squirrel, or a robin eating a little berry from a tree. When we look across all plant species in the world, about half of them rely on animals for movement.
Climate change is not stopping anytime soon, and to further study the problem and to look for possible solutions, researchers used machine learning from more than 400 seed dispersal networks worldwide to examine what would happen when animals would leave areas affected by global heating.
In terms of the biodiversity crisis, when we're thinking about animals and interactions between animals and plants, what mostly we've been hearing about are pollinators, extinctions of pollinators, loss of ecosystem function from pollinators. But this paper is looking at a different possible implication of losing species, and that is the plant species, the natural environment plant species, aren't going to be able to move through space as the climate changes in certain areas unless there are the animals around to disperse them.
Everywhere in the rest,
this paper is the first to quantify the issue at a global scale. It is estimated that the ability of animal-dispersed plants to keep pace with the climate change has already been reduced by 60% due to the loss of mammals and birds. It also found out that seed dispersal losses were especially severe in temperate regions like North America, Europe, South America and Australia, even though they'd lost only a small percentage of their mammal and bird species. Experts say that the research helps look at the bigger picture and shifting focus from the obvious, pollinators to seed dispersers like birds. Bureau Report, WION, World is One.
WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.